The Maple Leafs get the split in Buffalo, but the lack of urgency still persists. How much longer can the Leafs sustain this level of play? You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leafs centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host Dave Morassutti. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now and by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. What's happening, Dave? How are we feeling on a Monday?
Yeah, I mean, up and down weekends again. It just seems like, watching these two teams right now, the Leafs and the Jays, it's really having an impact on a lot of things, not just my mental strength right now, but just pretty much everything right now.
Yeah, it's like one wins, the other loses, the other loses, then the other wins. It's like, can't we all just be happy and have a night where, the Toronto parlay hits, the Leafs win, the Jays win, let's get a Raptors win thrown in there. Why not? Just for the funs of it. But yeah, the Leafs end up getting the split over the weekend. They lose Friday in Buffalo and then come home and they win the Saturday game 4-3. They needed overtime to get it done. But Johnny Tirana finished things off with a beautiful breakaway goal. Goal number 499 of his career, by the way. Just one away from 500 goals in his career, which would be a massive milestone that I'm sure he'll hit over the next couple of games here. But yeah, an up and down weekend is probably a good way to put it. There's pockets of good hockey, but I think we still saw a majority of the games here where the Maple Leafs, again, just looked kind of disengaged and didn't look like they were on the attack nearly as much as they should have been against a team like Buffalo.
No, they again just looked kind of timid. They weren't forcing the issue, and they seem to be content in allowing Buffalo to use their speed right throughout, through the neutral zone and even the offensive zone. They just looked a step behind in a lot of ways, and I get it. There's injuries and things are kind of being, they're trying all these different things, but I don't think this is what Corey Berube was expecting from his team in terms of effort and what's been ailing these last few days.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, for a week now, I think they've been saying that they're going to play better and they need to play better, and then they show up and that's performance that they give. It's quite disappointing. And then all of a sudden, Berube switches up the lines and I'll say something like I thought Willie, although he ended up getting hurt and didn't play Saturday, but I thought Friday he had a little pep in his step after getting elevated up to the top line with Matthews. He kind of got the party score, the party started with a breakaway goal. He had a couple of breakaways and reminded me like that when Willie's at his best, it's when he's getting those opportunities, right? When he's kind of hovering and he's getting those long breakaways and he's beating the goaltender. Like the amount of breakaway, he was good for one or two of them a game last year. And that's where he gets to 40, 45 goals. At least 9 or 10 of them feels like are on breakaways throughout the season. So that kind of had evaded him all season to this point. And he had a couple, which is good to see. Scored on one, which is obviously great for the Maple Leafs. And then he ends up getting hurt and he leaves the game and doesn't play on Saturday at all. And, he should be able to play at some point here soon. Maybe, he might be able to play Tuesday against Calgary. Maybe they wait another game, but, Nylander, I thought started out pretty well, but, outside of that, I think Jake McCabe, showed that he, played with a little bit more bite at least. He had the fight against Alex Tuch. He was blocking a bunch of shots, but still, kind of a lifeless group for a majority of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, The Nylander part, especially because we know this guy is so durable, doesn't miss games. He tries his best. The fact that he couldn't go, that's telling, right?
I think he's missed one game, I think, over the last 3 years. I'm just double checking it now, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Hold on. It's loading for me. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, over the last 3 years, he's played every single game the last 3 years. He missed one game the year before that. So last 4 seasons, regular season games, that is. He's played all but one game in the regular season. He did have those migraine issues in the playoffs a couple of years ago we all know about. But this guy is usually a warrior. So for him to be injured and not be able to play, that's not normal for him. That's very uncommon. So clearly, something was bothering him, and whether it's just one game, 2 games, we'll see. But that just means that someone else has to step up.
Yeah.
And for the game 2 in Buffalo on the Saturday, Nick Robertson checks back into the lineup, and he had a grand opportunity going up on the top line.
Yep.
Scored a goal in his return. Go figure. Nicky Bobby always scores a goal in his return. If that's debt, taxes, and Nick Robertson scoring after sitting in the press box. But again, it's all he did. Like he doesn't do a whole lot of else out there, and this doesn't necessarily drive play. So hopefully it's not a long absence for William Nylander. They certainly do need that guy in the lineup. Missing Mitch Marner is already tough to get through. Missing Nylander for any amount of time will be even more tough. Tanev's out. Riley missed on Friday, returned to the game on Saturday. Lawton should be back soon. We'll get to some news and notes in just a moment, but what else did you kind of take away from this weekend series against the Sabres?
I think the big one here is Jake McCabe.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was, especially the second game. I think the frustration a little bit, he showed it, but he also channeled it the right way.
He beat the piss out of Alex Tuch.
Yeah, and the fact that Alex Tuch took an instigator on that, it just adds
insult to injury.
To injury, because he got absolutely walloped. But that's what you need from Jake McCabe. Is I think that physicality brings just the emotion out of him. It's what this team has needed. Especially with Tanev out. Riley did come back for the Saturday game. And if people are wondering what went wrong in the first game, well, the Dakota Mermies Philip Myers pairing didn't work. Just no. I don't want to see that again. Having Morgan Riley back, I think maybe just goes to show the people that have been dogging on Morgan Riley, maybe coming around a little bit more on how important he is to this team, especially offensively. This team's struggling to put up offense.
Yeah,
he's their best offensive defenseman and Ulrich Ekman-Larsson has really stepped up.
That turnover on the power play irked me.
Yes, it did.
I will say that turnover on
stop with that. They gotta stop with that.
I was just, but
it's
again,
almost every game. Every game, I'm expecting the other team to either score on the penalty kill or have an odd man rush on the penalty kill. It irks me, and they got to stop playing that style that almost like lackluster, where the other team is pressing and you make the dangerous play instead of the safe play.
It's just always making one too many passes, though. Preach Berube's game, simple. I'm trying to remember who passed it to OEL. Might have been Nylander, to be honest with you.
I think it was Tavares.
Maybe it's Tavares. Whoever it was, I was screaming at the TV, shoot. And then he passed it off to Ekman-Larsson, who then tried to pass it off to Matthews, and it gets picked off and goes the other way. And I'm just like, why the hell didn't you just shoot the damn puck? He was wide open, had a lane, could have shot it on net. Guys crash the net, get a rebound, try and get the tying goal. But instead, too much perimeter, too much fluff, pass it around. it was really frustrating. Then that was the dagger, obviously, that shorthanded goal that late in the game. So yeah, that one really kind of pissed me off, I will say. But one other guy we got to shout out, Dakota Joshua, first couple goals as a Maple Leaf. He scored in both games this weekend, and it's nice to see. He was one of the guys who was brought in to kind of supplement a little bit of that offense that was departed by Mitch Marner, and so far he hasn't really provided it. Finally comes up big with a couple of goals there, and Saturday I thought that the goal he scored there too was really important. Was it the game tying goal? I think it was the 2-2 goal. No, was it the 2-2 goal Dakota Joshua scored? Either way, it was kind of a big goal in the game to get them going, because they were kind of lifeless prior to that. So good on Dakota Joshua. Finally gets his first and second as a Maple Leaf. Maybe now the floodgates can open and we can start seeing some offense come from him a little bit more. They certainly need it, that's for sure. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to some news and notes from the weekend. Joseph Woll seems to be on his way back. Potentially some trade interest for the Maple Leafs as well. We'll tell you who they're targeting next on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. The NHL is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. Even if you miss the start of a game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score to the third period comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the Locked On Network. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you, as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, with brand new episodes coming straight to you wherever you get a podcast, and also on YouTube. That's Apple, Spotify, you name it. Wherever you get it, you can go ahead and download and subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast. Apologies for Friday's show. I did see apparently there were some audio issues that we didn't really necessarily realize. I don't know if it was uploading issues or what. When we recorded it, it sounded fine. We don't know what happened
as you and I record. It's just
so I don't know what happened when it got sent off. But apologies to anybody. That's not normal for the show. Usually, I think we sound okay. We try to sound as professional as possible. Hopefully, today's much better. I guess we'll find out once it's finished and we get to listen back to it. But apologies to anyone that was annoyed by that. It is annoying when the audio is not crisp. So from Dave and I, we're sorry about that, and we'll be better moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, sounds like the Maple Leafs will be getting Joseph Woll back on the team moving forward. What's the latest there, Dave?
Yeah, so it was announced, I think it was Saturday, that Joseph Woll was rejoining the team, and Craig Berube made it a note to say that Woll has started skating, or he was skating on Saturday. So I think that's going to be a nice big emotional boost, and it comes probably at a good time because apparently Anthony Stolarz after Friday's game had some ice taped to his knees, which not great. We know that he's been pressed into a lot more work than he is expected, and Caden Primo can play NHL games, but we know if you're going to give me the option of Caden Primo or Joseph Woll, I'm going to take Joseph Woll every single time. So right now we don't know for sure when Joseph Woll is going to be ready to play again. I think that's going to be there's obviously some hurdles he'll have to clear now he's back. I think it just seems like there's a bit of a process, and really the only person that apparently knows the answer to that is Brad Treliving, and I don't know if Brad Treliving is going to offer up those answers willingly. I think there's a process that he knows that Woll needs to go through, and he's just going to respect that. And I know right now that the Leafs, they obviously with Primo playing on Saturday, that gave Stolarz a nice little break here, but they also have a back-to-back, which
next weekend, not this weekend.
no, they do now. They have the Flames on Tuesday and the Blue Jackets on Wednesday.
Oh, it's right. Oh, I thought that was a Thursday game. It's a Wednesday game. Probably still going to be Stolarz for that one.
I think it'll be Stolarz for one, Primo for the other, and then wait and see. Obviously,
I would think the 8th or 9th would probably be the game that we see Woll.
Yeah.
Like maybe the 9th there, November 9th. Like that gives him enough time, I would think. That gives him, just under 2 weeks to kind of get ready. If he's been skating, that's great. That gives him, some time to maybe go and get a game or two in the Marlies, perhaps, throughout the week, either this week or next week. And then he can be ready to go by next Saturday or Sunday. Not this upcoming Saturday, Sunday, the one after that. So almost 2 whole weeks we're talking here before, he gets back into NHL game action, I would assume. It's tough for a goal. Like there's conditioning. You got to get your timing back. It's not as easy, especially since he left during training camp. So he didn't even have a full camp to get loosened up and ready to go for an upcoming season. He's kind of got to go through another camp again almost and get himself
likely I can
mentally
assume,
and physically.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that there's going to be a conditioning stint for him.
Yeah.
With the Marlies at some point. It all depends on how much time he needs to get his conditioning and then say, okay, let's get to it tomorrow.
My guess is that weekend series, November 8th, 9th.
Yeah.
I think that's when we see him in a Maple Leafs uniform. It's a home game too, so it's a little bit more of a softer. Now, Boston, maybe it's the Saturday game against Boston. A bit of more of an easier opponent as opposed to Carolina, one of the better teams in the league. Maybe that's the date. November 8th, it's a Saturday. Hockey night in Canada. It's in Toronto. It's actually Hall of Fame night. So I think there could be some juice. And you get Joe Woll in the game. Should give you a little bit more of that juice. So that's my prediction. I think November 8th, that sounds like maybe the correct date. That'd be 2 weeks to the date that he was announced that he has returned to the team to get ready to go. So that's my assumption there. Craig Berube did say that Brad Treliving will give us more of a timeline at some point. He's expected to speak with the media, so perhaps later today we'll hear from Treliving, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions, not just about Joseph Woll. I'm sure if he speaks to the media, they'll have a lot more questions about what's going on with the Leafs, because a 500 record through the first 9 games, we're coming up to the 10-game point. Let's get cooking. Right? Like, let's get going here, Leafs. And I'm sure he'll have to answer to the slow start, especially, maybe Matthews' slow start specifically if he ends up speaking later today. Maybe he'll even have to speak on potential trade interests that could be afoot. Sounds like the Maple Leafs have been speaking to the Columbus Blue Jackets about Yegor Chinakhov, was reported by Darren Dreger on Friday. Does Yegor Chinakhov kind of solve any issues for you, Dave? Is this an interesting name for you?
Not really, because how many players like that does this team need? Kind of guys who are struggling, haven't really reached their potential.
At least he's got the size, 6 foot, 6'1", 203 pounds. So he's got a little bit.
The size is nice, but he's also, I think he's another. Is he a left winger? I'm pretty sure he is.
Shoots left, but actually plays right.
Yeah, which is okay. I just think that the Leafs have a lot of just players that have struggled to put up that offense. If I'm gonna go out and make it, unless it's a buy low, I think apparently they were gonna try to do a Robertson for Chinakhov swap, but Columbus is yeah, that ain't happening.
I don't see why though. Realistically, Chinakhov asked for a trade out long ago. I think even last season, if not in the summer, he asked for a trade out. And Robertson, same thing. I guess there's probably teams out there that might offer up a little bit more. Although, what Lucas Reichel go for? A 4th round pick over the weekend?
Yeah.
I think they're almost in the same boat. like Chinakhov, he had a good season, a couple of years, an okay season, I guess, like a Robertson-esque season. It's almost identical. He had 16 goals in 53 games in 23-24. Like Robertson had almost the identical stat line as Yegor Chinakhov did. And then last year, Chinakhov just 30 games, but he had 15 points in those 30 games. So gives you a pace of whatever would that be, like 40 something points. If you were to play somewhere near there, 35 points or so, if you were to have played a full 80 game season. So, I don't think it'd be that bad of a swap 1-for-1.
If that's what it is, like if the Leafs are just doing a swap with one of their kind of call underachieving forwards for him, I'm okay with that. But if it's one of those, we'll roll the dice and add him to the mix. Like I think they're clearly trying to push for Columbus to kind of do that type of swap, but it's just they're not liking what they're offering.
Well, yeah, clearly at this point. I'm just seeing if they need anything. Like they're good on defense. Thing is, like they're a decent team. Columbus is. I mean, they don't necessarily need anything. I was wondering maybe do they need an upgrade at fourth line, and perhaps David Kampf could have been a guy that could be included in a deal here if they wanted like a defensive minded fourth line center. But I think got Isaac Lundestrom there, who's kind of a younger version of that. But they have Chinakhov playing on the fourth line right now. So it's not as though I think they're going to ask an arm and a leg for him. Maybe they have no interest whatsoever in Nick Robertson. Like they've got Marchenko and Kent Johnson playing in your top six on the right side, Vorokov and Boone Jenner on the left side. So there's not necessarily space for him on in your top six, I guess, if you are the Columbus Blue Jackets. But I don't know, maybe like a mid-round pick, similar to like what Lucas Reichel went for, might be worth, making that move. He's young. He's a former first-round pick. He's 24. It's not like young, but he's not, super old. I think it'd be a worthwhile shot in the dark here. If you can make that swap, I guess, for Robertson. I wouldn't add him into the mix and add another, like outside looking in, maybe a fourth line guy.
Yeah.
Like you've already got Yarncroc, you've got Cowan, you've got, Robertson, you've got like, unless you can make a swap of one of those guys, like a Robertson, maybe Yarncroc, although I probably might rather keep Yarny around, or David Kampf maybe goes the other way. Perhaps that's probably the only way that I'd that it would make sense. Bringing him in without shipping anyone else out doesn't make a whole lot of sense here for Toronto.
No, it doesn't. Not really.
No. Any other big news and notes in Leafland? Any updates on Tanev, Nylander?
I did not see any. Tanev, we already know, like IR, so this would be his second.
I think
his third game would be on Tuesday.
Yeah, so he'll be out till at least Tuesday.
Whether he'll be ready to come back after that, like I didn't hear anything about him skating or anything, so that's not great either.
No. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, Dave has his list of his top 5 favorite Maple Leafs jerseys. We'll tell you what inspired this list. That's next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Hockey season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and price that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Gametime comes in, the app that gives you fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing hockey tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. I recently used Gametime to grab some seats for the Leafs, and it could have been simpler. I had great seats in minutes. I love that you can see exactly what you're going to pay too. No hidden fees at checkout. And you can see exactly what your view is going to look like before you buy the ticket with their in-app seat view feature. And their zone deals are a game changer. You pick the section, Gametime picks your seats, and you save big. You can even find tickets for under $25 at select NHL arenas. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, with brand new episodes of the Locked On Leafs podcast, touching on everything you need to know about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we like to have a little fun from time to time on the podcast. And everyone loves a good list. Everyone loves a good list, a power ranking. And Dave, you texted me. We're both just massive sports nuts, and obviously we've been watching football all day on Sunday, and you texted me during the Sunday nighter, and I will read out the text word for word. Would you mind if I read it out word for word, Dave?
Yeah, go for it. I stand by what I say.
All right. Literally, he said, "Hey, we recording after football?" I said, "Yes, sir." You said, all you said was, "These Steelers jerseys are ass." That's it. That's all you said. Not a fan of the Steelers jerseys that they're wearing on Sunday Night Football, huh?
Those might, like, the Steelers have had some really god awful jerseys. And they put out a photo on Instagram. I'll put it up right now so you can see what the jerseys were for those on YouTube that are watching right now. That's what they looked like. In the photo, I think it looked a little more flattering in that photo than when you saw it on the your actual television screen, because I have no idea what these jerseys. I understand it's bringing it back to, as you read it here, those who read it on YouTube, it brings it back to the 1933 throwbacks, when I don't even think they were called the Steelers. I think they were called the Pirates at that point.
And then the baseball team just went and stole it. Wow.
Yeah, but just the helmets were weird. Because they had like a weird black stripe on them.
Yeah.
The pants, I understand that's like how the pants used to look, but if you put the black pants with those and maybe changed a little bit of like the chest design, I could get behind these a little bit more. The color scheme was also really weird. It's just like mustard. It was like that mustard color. It doesn't speak Steelers to me. Steelers are like more like a golden yellow, not like a mustard, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it wasn't a jersey that I think many people are gonna be going to NFLCanada.ca or whatever and purchasing one of those jerseys, like you and I probably did, and many other listening when the Jays gear drop for the World Series. May have bought myself a couple of things. But yeah, I thought they were absolutely hideous as well. I'm with you. But I thought, hey man, you're a jersey guy. Like look behind you. You got a bunch of jerseys. You are a jersey guy through and through. So I think you're very qualified to speak on it, and qualified to speak on jerseys as a whole, and maybe even most importantly, Maple Leafs jerseys. So Dave, you've compiled your list of the top 5 Leafs jersey in franchise history. The floor is yours, my friend. Unveil it.
So this one here is a bit of a throwback, but it was a throwback to like the 60 jerseys that they brought back in the 2010s, early 2010s. And that was the alternate jersey that they wore like early 2010s. It's got that it was interesting because at first I wasn't too big on them, but until I bought one. It's felt. The logo is made out of felt. Ooh. Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs font is a bit weird, but I just think it was a really nice throwback at the time, because we didn't really get a lot of like throwback jerseys, over the years. So I thought it was a nice little throwback with a modern twist to it. So yeah, that was one that I really did enjoy. Right. Next one, a little more recent. It's the Centennial Classic jerseys.
Ooh, those are sick. Those are sick jerseys.
Simple. Obviously, they got the silver in it for the centennial year. That's a important factor there. Initially, I thought there could have been a little more stripes at the bottom just to help fill in it a little bit. But
I don't like it. I don't know.
I've also seen a lot of outdoor jerseys look absolutely terrible. Like terrible. So I will take this over what I have some of the atrocities I have seen from NHL teams during these outdoor games.
Yeah,
So
I like those ones. Yeah, I'm glad those ones made your list. Those are sick sweaters. All right, what's number 3?
number 3, it's actually in this room
Oh,
behind me. It's the Winter Classic jersey.
oh, another Winter Classic. That's an old school feel right there.
That one there, I think now if you ever worn one of these, it fits like an old school jersey, very loose. The arms are like massive.
I like the maple leaf on that though. Like
Yeah.
the actual maple leaf logo, like it's
Yeah.
different than the way that it is now. It looks almost more like an actual leaf.
Yes.
Whereas now it's like, I don't know, it's very crisp, obviously. So like that logo for me, like I thought that was a sick logo back then.
No, I really enjoyed this jersey. I have a couple of them actually.
That Jerry D'Amigo in this photo.
Jerry D'Amigo is in this photo.
Cody Franzen,
Nikolai
a young
Kuhlman,
Morgan
right
Riley.
here.
Oh my god!
I think Morgan Riley's the only player left from that squad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
John Michael Lyles was supposed to play, but then he got traded.
Oh yeah,
that was memorable Leaf moments there. But yeah, I have a couple of these. One of them, this one here, signed by Wendell Clark. The one that's behind me.
Let's go.
So, I do
All
have.
right, what's number 2 on Dave's
2.
list?
You got to go with. This is a childhood nostalgia for me. I think a really nice Leaf logo, the blue and the white. You talking about the blue and the white, perfect. With the white helmet, like this is back also when white jerseys were the home jerseys.
Yeah, I don't know why they were switched that. It was such a random thing they decided to change. But anyway,
yeah, wasn't too much of a fan of when they did that. I've gotten used to it now, so actually going back to white would probably feel really weird for me. I do have one of these jerseys. I think this is not. I think this is the later version.
Yeah.
But yeah, always love this one. I was thinking about getting it customized with Sundin. Something I got to do one day.
Speaking of Sundin, actually, so he's going to be in town a couple of weeks. He's getting an award of some kind. I can't recall exactly what it's called, but he's getting an award of some kind. But he's also going to be in attendance at the Sport Card Expo.
Yeah,
he's doing an autograph signing there. It's going to be bedlam. At like whenever the captain's in town and he's doing an autograph signing. Oh my goodness, man. People are absolutely going to be lined up for hours. Like I remember the one year at the Expo, because I go every year, obviously, and Carey Price was there. And Carey Price was like, it was like a 3-hour. It was so packed, so busy to see Carey Price. Imagine Mats Sundin in there. It is going to be so busy. So for everyone who wants to go, or is thinking about going, get your ticket ahead of time, by the way, because they may sell out of Sundin tickets. So just know that is a thing. I think he's going to be there on the Saturday. Matthew Knies is going to be there as well. Ben Danford is also going to be in town. I think Steven Lorentz too. So there's going to be actually quite a few Maple Leafs at the Expo that are going to be signed. That's.
I've never been, and I've always had something. I'm going to try to go this year if I can.
Let me know. I'll be your liaison. I know that place like the back of my hand. I'm there every year, all 4 days. I'll be there. Coming in at number 1, Dave. What's the best Maple Leafs jersey this team has ever had?
Ever had. Some people might not like this choice. We'll see. But it's a recent one. The good old reverse retros that they wore very, very sparingly a few years ago, and I don't know why. Like, this jersey kicks butt.
Yeah, I don't know why they went away from that reverse retro.
I don't know if it was like an NHL thing where they are only going to have it for.
It was like a select number of games, but but then that was it. Like, just we're going to wear it for 4 games this year and never wear them again. Like, you got a sick sweater like that, man. You should be rocking that thing as often as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Like, I have that jersey. I just find it so clean.
Does that milk on it too?
It's got the milk on it, like it always like the yep. I love the classic NHL logo in orange.
Yeah.
Like that's classic NHL there. I just think the leaf is very cool. I think the white stripes very cool. Like I don't know. Like I understand the Bieber jerseys. There's a bit of a connection with those with Justin Bieber. I would rather see them wear this jersey more than the Bieber jerseys.
Yeah. The Bieber jerseys, I could care less, honestly, about those ones. The other ones I thought weren't necessarily a hit. I remember, I don't like the back of them, but the St. Pat's jerseys, you can't like read the numbers properly. And I remember Joe Bowen hates these jerseys because the first time he ever had to call the game with he lost his mind because he can barely read the numbers.
Joe Bowen knows a thing or two about Irish culture, and I think you'd want him to have a good jersey.
Yes, 100%. Bonesy certainly knows a thing or two when it comes to the Irish. Great list, Dave. Great list. I love that jersey as well, man. That does bring back, that list brings back some memories. So you weren't a fan. You're not a big fan of the crisp Maple Leaf either, huh?
Like the older style, like
yeah, like the ones that like who would have wore it? Like the 0-2 playoff run, like Cujo and
like the ones that had the
Gilby.
TML on the side. That's my first ever Leaf jersey with the
but
silver and stuff.
didn't have it on your list.
No,
that's nostalgia for me because the early 2000s, like that's when I became a hockey fan. So like for me, that was nostalgic. Whenever I see those, I always think back to that time. So I was surprised not to see one pop up here.
I like the jersey. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that that's too much of a nostalgia pick rather than this is a good jersey.
That's fair. All right, let us know down below. Did we miss anyone? What's your favorite jersey? Let us know in the comment section or reach out to us on our social media pages. That'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at _Morassutti and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow to tee up Leafs and Flames. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.